Okay, for this last video, this tutorial, I'm just going to quickly show you the idea of just laying the UVs out into the box and show you what happens in ZBrush if there's problems and how you can check your mesh. So this is actually the high poly model, so the final one I used for my project. So here's the UVs. So you can see I put when we get into ZBrush, I put a quick mistake just to show you what happens and what kind of problems that can cause. So all I have is put it outside this box. So yeah, so it's just pretty much kind of flattening things out, evenly spacing them into the right areas, and then slowly so the squares are pretty much all the same all over the body. And you can get into this, but yeah, this is pretty much my second or third character I've UV'd, so I'm still learning at this stage, but slowly getting the techniques down. And the technique I've taught you is quite a basic one, but I still think it's quite paramount that you learn that kind of stuff before you get into the really kind of complex models. So what we're going to do is just quickly export this and put it on the desktop. And you want to save it as an object file. Quickly, this is going to be a cool part. So you go into Windows, Setting Preferences, and your plugin manager. If you don't have the OBJ there, then this is how you get it up. OBJ exporter, just go load and auto load and refresh. And now you can go on File, Export Selection, and you can find what we want. So we'll just call it tutorial ZBrush check. So you can export that, and then we can open up ZBrush. Let's quickly look for ZBrush check. Apparently it's not there. So what we're going to quickly do is just find a quick thing, ZBrush check model, open, and here he is. So if you're new to ZBrush, it's quite a complex program, but I'm not going to get into how you set up ZBrush ready for stuff. But so you have your mesh here, and what you can do here, you can subdivide it as many times as you want. The key thing we're going to do here is go on to UV map, no, not UV map, texture map, and you go new from UV texture. Now as you can see, everything is good apart from one area, and that is these red marks, which pretty much means saying something's gone wrong with your UVs. If you just hover over, sometimes you can see, and that is pretty much because that one little poly is over. That causes it to warp and come across the here, because it doesn't flip. Because for some reason in ZBrush you can turn it off, but if you don't turn it off, or whatever happens, this will cause problems. But when it obviously flips, this does not go with it, so it stays there, and all the other stuff warps across. So just to correct this, is all you have to do, just check your model to make sure nothing's overlapping, because that's what will happen, or just do that, and then you can just quickly export selection. You can just go fix. Oops, that's not fixed. And now, good thing about ZBrush, you can quickly just go import fixed. I'll have to go down to the lower version, unfortunately. And now the red mark will still be there, and that's until you go on to texture map. And there you go. So there's no mistakes on this. There's no problem areas. Everything works well. So yeah, I hope you learned a lot in this tutorial, but it's pretty much just been a nice overview of what I do in Maya and what I do, what do I do to get to ZBrush, and yeah. So take this tutorial as a good, basic knowledge of how to UV, but with the more complex your models, the harder it's going to get to UV. And there's other programs out there called UV Layout, which is a very good tool, which I'm planning to start learning because it makes things a lot easier and quicker. But I hope you learned stuff. So see you later.